A critical state Senate seat will be up for grabs in November when a special election will be held in Binghamton. The voters there will be electing a replacement for former state Senator Tom Libous, who was convicted last week of lying to the FBI. At stake is whether the GOP will continue to have a one-vote majority in the state Senate. But it turns out Governor Cuomo's status is also at issue here, since he's already backing a candidate with something of an uphill climb. And joining us now to talk more about this, our political analyst, New York Post political columnist Fred Dicker, joining us from Albany. Fred, good to see you. How about this? Southern Tier has a decidedly Republican enrollment edge, so the governor's gotten involved, and you say that could be problems for him down the line.
It could be, Liz, and it's nice to see you. You know, in this state, the Republicans really haven't had much to crow about. They've been losing election after election, but this time they think they have a winner, not so much because they think they can win this seat, which they think they can, but because the governor, for the first time ever, has gone all in for a Democratic candidate for the Senate. You may recall last week the governor announced that he had his own pick for the candidate in that race, Barbara Fiala, the former motor vehicles commissioner. He said he was going to campaign for her. He's expected to raise a lot of money for her. Now the Republican leaders, starting with Ed Cox, the state Republican chairman, are saying the governor's really stuck his neck out on this one, that it will be a referendum on the governor, and that if the Democratic candidate, Barbara Fiala, is defeated in November, it's going to be a defeat for the governor as well. And I think they're right about that.
And from what I understand, the governor is not particularly popular in the Southern Tier, partly because of the SAFE Act.
That and his ban on natural gas drilling, a.k.a. fracking, which is very popular there. That's where the gas is. Let me also note that if the governor is successful in backing this candidate, not only will the Republicans have lost the majority in the Senate, but what a humiliation this will be for John Flanagan, the new Republican leader of the Senate. So the stakes are going to be much higher than they would normally be in a Senate race. Both the governor's reputation politically and John Flanagan's will be on the line.
Can you quickly explain how the world changes for upstaters if the Republicans lose the majority?
Well, it's a huge change. New York City is really dominating the state now, and New York City does have a whole different sort of set of sensibilities, very liberal or left-of-center Democrats. The last bastion of upstate influence has been the state Senate. Tom Libous' loss in and of itself was a big deal for upstate. As a deputy majority leader, he had a lot of influence. He's gone now. Even if a Republican wins there, it'll be someone with less seniority. So a lot's at stake for the upstate region. Yeah,
it sure sounds that way, and I know you'll follow it for us. Thank you, Fred. Good to see you. And don't forget, Fred on the radio, live from the state capitol. It's every weekday morning, 10 to 11, on Talk 1300 AM.